Well, hello and happy Monday, everyone. I am Nina Moore and I am so excited to be here with you. We are currently reading Think Your Way to Wealth, and I'll give you a little bit of back history on how we got here to enjoy book club together. So, in about 2018, I realized that my life 100% changed because of personal development and growth. And it is my desire now to make sure that anybody that is connected to me has the same opportunity to elevate their growth, their mindset, all because I realize that we literally have to read, right? That everything we desire really is in a book. And one of the biggest things that changed my life was what I committed to and invested in my personal development and growth time. And so, because I've realized that there are a lot of people who don't enjoy reading, I realized that I had a gift. And the gift that I have is storytelling. One of the gifts that I have is storytelling. And I also am able to understand the mind of the author. And so I have that gift and I wanted to share that gift with other people. And during COVID, I started a book club, just a place where we could come together online as a community to learn and grow together to keep our mind off of the pandemic that we were all experiencing. And some of y'all heard what I just said, right? The pandemic that all of us were experiencing. Well, I decided to not stop that. God put the charge on my heart to not stop book club. And so since 2018-ish, 2019, I've been hosting book club every Monday, unless I was traveling or it was some major holiday, so that I can help to invest time in other people's lives to help them to grow and help them to really understand and have a love and an affinity for reading, but not just reading, because knowledge is not power. It is applied knowledge that's power. All right. Knowledge is not power, which is why a lot of people read, but there's no transformation in their lives, because it is when we decide to apply it that we see the greatest change in our lives. Okay. Applied knowledge is power. Knowledge is not power, but applied knowledge is power. So, to say all of that, there are some reasons that reading is so imperative, and I will give you some of them. Thank you so much, Tara, for letting the people in. And listen, if you see Nichelle, I'm gonna make you a co-host as well. If y'all see anything inappropriate, go ahead and feel free to log the people right on off. Okay, you don't have to tell me. If you see any inappropriate behavior, just go ahead and log the people off, because sometimes crazy people just log on. And if you see it, log them off. We don't want to expose ourselves to anything inappropriate. Okay. So you have the opportunity. I think I make Nichelle and Tara, you are both co-hosts. All right. Just keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out like this. Right. So some of the reasons why personal development is so vital to who we desire to become is because we're never going to earn more than we learn, right? And hello to all of you that might be out there on YouTube as well. We're never going to earn more than we learn. We're never ever going to be able to pour from an empty cup. So I told you that's why on Mondays I am here to fill your cup. Another reason is that leaders are readers. And if we desire to lead in any capacity of our lives, we must read. Everybody got that? Leaders are readers. If we desire to grow in any capacity of our lives, we must read. So after us listening to Train Your Aura to Attract Wealth on YouTube, and I have been listening to Train Your Aura to Attract Wealth since last October-ish. And after listening to that, I did some research to find where could I find the book that was associated to Train Your Aura to Attract Wealth. Well, I found that this is the book that is connected to Train Your Aura to Attract Wealth, and that is Think Your Way to Wealth. Well, not only is this the book that's connected to Train Your Aura to Wealth, it is also a conversation between Napoleon Hill and Carnegie. Now, let me explain something to you. Napoleon Hill is like my mentor in my mind, okay? He's my mentor, and saying Carnegie. What I love about this book, and we are on chapter 2, which is called The Mastermind. What I love about this book literally is the conversation between Carnegie and Napoleon Hill. We literally, it is if we were in a mastermind meeting, this entire book is like we were in a mastermind meeting, snooping in on a conversation that Napoleon Hill and Carnegie are having. I mean, it is phenomenal. Okay. And so I don't know about you all. Yes, Tedra. Hello, hello from California. I see you. Sheila Shaw, amazing. I'm so mad that I didn't get to see you again. I wanted to record a video with you. But it's all right. It's all right. But this book is transformative. If you can hear what I'm saying, write the words transformative in the comments. Now, I'm a little bit on cloud nine, y'all. We just got back from Vegas, and y'all would be proud of me. I'm unpacked and everything, ready for the next dimension in my life. And we'll talk about that a little bit more tonight on our call tonight at 8 o'clock. I don't want to belabor the time right now, but this book is transformative, and we're going to go ahead and start to read Think Your Way to Wealth. This book is by Napoleon Hill. It's published by the Napoleon Hill Foundation, and it is a conversation with Andrew Carnegie. This is the 17 Principles of Success. All right. And if you understand, if you know who Andrew Carnegie is, he was the steel master. Okay. So chapter 2, we're reading The Mastermind. Knowledge is only potential power. I just said, right? Knowledge is only potential power. It may become power only when it is organized and directed toward a definite end. Only when it is organized and directed with a definite end. So what now has to happen? When we learn something, we must now do what? Organize the thought and direct it towards an intended end. So here's what Napoleon Hill says. He says, how can one begin to harness and apply this power? How can we apply this power? Carnegie says, the first step is to take control of the power of one's own mind. Uh-oh. The first thought. Did you hear what he said? The first thought, the first step is to control the power of one's own mind. We'll discuss the ways to do this when we cover the principles of initiative and self-confidence. I can't wait till we get to that. And self-confidence. For now, let me highlight the importance of removing any self-imposed limitations you've set up in your own mind. Is everybody ready? Is everybody ready? He said the self-imposed limitations that everyone has set up in his or her own mind. Y'all don't understand. We're thinking, I was having a conversation with Tanisha this morning. And there's one thing that she said, and I'm gonna go to it because after we got off the phone, she sent me this message. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Something that she said, we were having a discussion about something, and she said, real confidence starts on the inside. Then outward validation becomes irrelevant to you. When you have real confidence on the inside, you don't need outward validation. Uh-oh. Self-confidence. So he says, for now, let me highlight the importance of removing any self-imposed limitations. Most people, Felicia, aren't operating to their fullest capacity because they have no confidence. And what they do is, now here's the deal. You can tell, and whoa. You can tell, Pastor Sean, by looking at someone most times when someone has low confidence. You can tell, oftentimes. Here's where it gets tricky. Because there are a lot of people who are good at hiding the fact that they have low confidence. Those people that have low confidence, but they're good at hiding it, is because they make a pretty good living. So because they make a pretty good living, they're able to hide behind the fact that they make a pretty decent living. Right, Mama Nisi? They also typically are married. And on the outside, Pastor Sean, on the outside, it looks like the marriage is pretty good. I said on the outside. And so people who who lack self-confidence, but they kind of try to hide it on the outside, they show it in other ways. They show it in other ways. I'm going to be teaching about that over the next few weeks. So this says, for now, let me highlight the importance of it. With the abundance of riches and opportunities available today, there's no reason that any individual should go through life in poverty. Did you hear that? There's no reason. Let me tell y'all something. There are kids with no degrees. Matter of fact, some of them ain't even finished school, Pastor Sean, who are making millions of dollars because they've gravitated, Mary Fitzgerald, to an idea of social selling. Gary Vee has been talking about social selling for the last 3 years. He said it. He said TikTok was going to take off. He said social selling, and he's saying it very strong today. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more too. I don't want to sell. Well, then stay broke. Well, then stay broke. Because we've gotta decide. We've got to decide which one hurts more. Well, I don't want nobody to think that I need them. Let me tell y'all, those are some of the things that I hear people saying to me. But Gary Vee is saying, this is the way the world is moving. Gary Vee is saying, this is the way the world is moving. And then you got people that are like, I don't want to sell. I need to make money. I don't want to sell. Let me help you out. Everybody ready? Y'all lean in. Lean in. Let me look at the people. Let me look at y'all. Lean in. I see you, Mary. Lean in. All of life is sales. We're either selling or being sold to. I want y'all to write that down. All of life is sales. Either you're selling or you're being sold to. Period. And I don't really know where we get this thing where I don't want nobody to think I need them. That is pride and ego, and it goes before a fall. The good book says it. I don't understand how all the people know what the good book says, and then we got nerve to say stuff like that out of our mouth. I don't want nobody to think I need them. I'm not gonna keep calling somebody and they don't want to. What? Pride and ego. Pride and ego. Pride and ego. But the people who want it, they don't talk about it. Pastor Sean, they literally just do it. Like, I remember the first time I was trying to edit my own video. They just keep shuffling. Where my deck of cards at? Where are my cards? Where is my deck of cards? Because I swear, Claire, I was so mad that I did not have a table up in front of me. Because I didn't have a table up in front of me, I couldn't shuffle the cards. I had to hold the mic in one hand, and they just keep shuffling. They just keep. I'm always gonna have a. You know why I always have a deck of cards with me? Always. Y'all think it's because I just like to play cards. I do. However, there's so much revelation in a deck of cards. Some of y'all gonna catch that. Some of y'all heard my speech this weekend, right? And some of y'all didn't make it. Some of y'all didn't make it. Mama, we was praying for you. Mama, we was praying. We know you was there in heart. She don't even want to hear it. She like, y'all, I'm about to punch somebody in their throat. Right? But no matter how much opportunity you are presented with, it will not benefit you if you neglect or you refuse to take control of your own mind power and use it for your personal advancement. Period. So there are some people who take that speech and take this deck of cards, and they done already contacted 30, 40, 50 people since they left conference. They are already like, wait a minute. Did I see what I saw? Did I see what I saw? And they literally, my phone, my messenger, everything has been off the hook today. Because there are some people that are just like, I know what I saw. I can't unsee what I saw now. And I know what I saw. And they ain't waiting for nothing. Which one are you? Are you the person trying to wait for all the things to be perfect before you take a step? Or see, because courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is, I'm scared and shaking in my boots, but I'm going to do it anyway. I went to Dubai a week ago. I still feel like I'm in the air sometimes, right? But I went to Dubai a week ago, and I'll never forget day one, they were like, hey, we're going on up to have dinner in the sky. And I was like, how high is that? We having dinner you mean like I saw that on Instagram. I said, how high is that? Then I said, you know what? Don't tell me. I said, I really don't want to know how high it is because what's going to happen is I don't really like heights. And if you tell me how high it is, I'm going to have self imposed limitations. Uh, some of y'all heard me and some of y'all didn't understand what I just said. I said, so don't tell me how high it is. And then I said, then listen to what happened, Pastor Sean. We thought we had 20 spots. And at the end of the shuffling around the numbers and things like that, we only had 16 spots. So I was like, surely I won't have to go. They'll pick one of the other chaperones. I don't know how I was the one chosen, but they chose me since two of the other chaperones had already experienced it. They said, we want to make sure that at least Nina gets to experience this since she didn't experience it before. Now, in my mind, I was saying, but I'm scared of heights like that. Like, I can go in an airplane because there's something around me. But to just be dangling in the middle of the air, I don't know about all that. And you know what I decided? If these kids can do it, how kind of crazy do I look teaching people to overcome their fears? So I was scared when I did it because courage is not the absence of fear. And in the beginning, Mary, I wouldn't move at all. I literally was just sitting still like this. I wouldn't move or flinch because my chair, like if you went too far back, you could feel it reclining a little bit, right? And I was like, oh, they done lost their mind up here. But let me tell you what happened. The little boy was sitting, a younger boy was sitting next to me, Cedric. Cedric was afraid. He was so afraid that he was like, Miss Nina, tell them this is high enough. Stop this. Just stop this. We get all the way up to the top and he's still like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. Mind you, I didn't want to go. He's so afraid sitting next to me that I stopped focusing on my fear and started talking him through it. Sometimes you coaching somebody else through a situation is really the answer. Because as I'm telling him, I said, breathe. Don't look down. Stop looking down. You good. You next to me. We're harnessed in. And as I'm talking to him and telling him, you good. We good. Then he said, but I'm feeling lightheaded now because I done got myself so worked up. I'm lightheaded. We ended up having to take him back down because he couldn't take it. He had worked himself up so much in his mind. Listen to what I'm saying. He had worked himself into a frenzy, Mary Fitzgerald. He had worked it. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Pastor Dorothy, we were all on the same platform. We were all good. We were all safe. You couldn't even feel the thing going up and you couldn't even feel it coming down. So we got back down and we went back up. And guess what happened the next time? The next time I was like, hey, ho, woo, whoa, yes, yes. Why? Because I realized the same things I was encouraging him is the same way I had to encourage myself. And I said, I will not allow the fear of going higher. The fear of going higher. I will not allow myself to allow the fear of going higher to stop or block me. I said, because this is spiritual and I want to go higher in every capacity of my life. So if I can't go high here, I certainly can't go high in my money, high in my marriage, high in my relationships, high in my emotions, high in my spirituality. I can't go high in any place of my life. Oh, some of y'all gonna get it. Some of y'all gonna get it. I told y'all I was on fire. We just came back from Vegas. We just came back. All right. So he says, if you neglect to take your own mind power for personal advancement, and there is no way to take the fullest possession of your mind power without combining it through the mastermind principle with the minds of others and directing it toward the attainment of a concrete goal. I know what my intended end is. Do you know what your intended end is? See, when we know what our intended end is, no matter what we feel like, we just do it. No matter how tired we are, we just do it. No matter how sparse it seems, we just do it. Nobody's answering my calls. Well, I'ma just do it. Because at some point, At some point, because I believe that what we sow, we reap. There ain't no way, Felicia, right? Ain't no way, Pastor Dorothy, that I could keep sowing and not reap. There ain't no way. The only way that I could sow and not reap is the attitude in which I'm sowing in. So if I'm planting seeds of doubt with the seeds, oh, absolutely. We always know the weeds will always kill out the good. It'll suffocate it. So you can't place doubtful seeds in the same pot that you putting your seeds in the ground. Can't do it. That's like oil and water. No matter how much you put them together, they just don't mix. So Hill comes back and says, Mr. Carnegie, could you provide me with the exact steps one should take to form a mastermind group? Carnegie says, wow, it will vary depending on the nature of the group and its organizer. There are certain fundamentals to observe. One, definiteness of power. The starting point of all achievement is the definite knowledge of what one wants. I am 100% certain that if you absolutely just figure out what you really want, your life will change. Like you can't be, well, I want it, but I don't want to have to post that much. Because guess what? The moment you say, well, I want it, but I gotta do a stability test like every day? I gotta post the videos like Nina and Stanisha, they're posting like every hour. Sometimes every half an hour. You mean I gotta do that? So what you just did was you canceled out the seed of the post that you put up. Because you really don't want to do it. Because it's not really what you want. Let me tell you something, Pastor Sean. When it's really what you want, you don't even think about the steps that it takes to get there. Oh, I'm on fire today. When it's really what we want, we don't even think about the cost or the price. How many of you see something when you go in a store? You don't even care. You don't even look at the price tag. Because no matter what, Pastor, when you walk in that store, you're like, oh, that's going home with me. I don't even care. I might have to sell a toenail. But that right there, or that coat, or that dress, or that shoe, or that necklace, or that whatever, that is going home with me. You don't even care about the cost. Because when you really want something, you don't count the steps. When you really want something, you don't even get tired of it. You get tired in it. You never get tired of it. Oh, there is a difference. Tired in it and tired of it are two different things. When you really, really want something, nothing can stop you. Nothing. Which is why I know people are talking yakety yakety yak when they tell me what they want. Because I don't listen with my eyes. I don't listen with my ears, rather. I listen with my eyes. Girl, I want to make $10,000 a month. Really? Then I go like this. I watch. I watch. And I keep looking for the behavior of a person who wants to earn $10,000 a month. Because when a person wants to earn $10,000 a month, there's nothing to ask. There's no questions to ask. When a person wants to earn, when a person wants to go VP, there's no questions asked. They go old dark 30 and they just do. They don't ask me any questions. They go get the information for themselves. They stay connected so that they hear it all. They don't miss anything. When a person really wants to do it, nothing will stop them. I knew Janet Reese wanted to do it. Because all I had to do was do this, Mary Fitzgerald. See, Stevie Wonder could see it. Stevie Wonder could see it, Pastor Dorothy, when somebody really wants something. See, when I really, really wanted to shed that weight, when I really decided to shed that weight, guess what happened, Pastor Sean? Nothing. Not a piece of cake, not a pie, not a scoop of ice cream. Nothing could keep me from hitting the goal. You don't even think about it. You know, when people ask me, I don't understand, Nina, how do you get it all done? I just don't think. I just do. Like I was determined this morning to sleep a little late, and I still got up early, but then I made myself go back to sleep. Because I said, Nina, you gotta rest your body. Right? So I was determined to sleep a little late. But then I was determined to get up, to unpack, to get everything hung up, suitcases away, to get something organized in my closet. Like I was determined to get all of that done before I had to get ready for a leadership call today. I was determined. I wasn't counting the cost. How long is it going to take me to do? No, I just did it. It's the same way I do anything in my life. So, so definiteness of purpose. Do you have a definite aim, a definite purpose? I want you to take 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and think about it. Close your eyes. This is about you and you. I thought about it this weekend as you're thinking. When my CEO, before he called me up on stage, he said, "This young lady right here is a one of one. One of one." Because I ain't trying to be like nobody else. I'm my own entity. I have a definite purpose. Think about what your definite purpose is. It's the starting point of all achievement. It's the definite knowledge of what you want. What do you want? If you got a notebook, write it down. Write as much down as you can. And then you know what you do? You go to Chat GPT and then you work through it. Hey, these are the things that I want. I don't know how to put this into one sentence. I don't know how to put this into one purpose. These are the things that I want to do. Help me to format this into one definite purpose. That's what you do. You know, it's funny. Paul and I were using Chat GPT last night. We were having a conversation about some personality traits that we saw in a person. And we went right to Chat GPT and could not believe that it walked us through the whole issue. And then it asked, do you want me to help you to know how to like basically talk to this person so you can help them pass it? Chat GPT. Number 2, choosing members for a mastermind group. Every person with whom you ally yourself through the mastermind principle should be in complete agreement with the purpose of the alliance and must be able to contribute something definite toward the attainment of the end goal. This contribution might be the member's education, experience, or even their network. Don't you allow somebody in your mastermind circle that can't contribute to the end goal. Don't allow them around. Now, everybody's contribution will be different. It won't be the same. Some people I'll use Alicia Richardson. She has great organizational skills. She just does. She loves making phone calls and working stuff out with people. She's very customer relational, right? Then I've got like Dr. Dunn, who I know that I can call on her to go help people because Dr. Dunn has a lot of confidence and she understands the back office. And I don't have to worry about what she's going to say to somebody, the way she's going to say it, because she ain't going to throw nobody off. Right? You just got to know those that labor amongst you. I know that I don't have the most patience with people who might talk real slow. I know my limitations. So guess what I do? When people reach out to me who might need a little additional extra help because they might move a little slower, I call Mama Nisi and I say, Mama Nisi, I need you to talk to this person. If they become a customer, go ahead. Because I know she has the grace for it. Why would I destroy my business when I don't have to know everything? I just got to be good at connecting people who might be better than me in an area. When you connect people that might be better than you in an area, it doesn't take anything from you. It actually makes you look stronger. Somebody should have written that down. That's self-confidence. See, I know who I am, and I don't lose anything delegating areas that I know someone else might do better than me. 3, motive. How do you now create this mastermind group? Motive. In order to form a mastermind group, you must be able to give the members something in return for the service that they are rendering. The motive could be financial reward or favor of some sort, but it must be of equal or greater value to the service expected. Motive. So we got number 1 was definiteness of purpose. Number 2 was choosing members for your mastermind group. 1, definiteness of purpose. 2, choosing members for your mastermind group. 3 was motive. All right, 3 was motive. And then 4 is harmony. Complete harmony must prevail among all members of a mastermind alliance if it is to be successful. No one can gossip or go behind the back of another member. All egos must be subordinated to the collective good. When considering which members to bring into this mastermind alliance, the primary factor to consider is whether an individual can and will work for the good of the group. Will they work for the good of the group? Because I'm going to tell you right now, you got a lot of people, because they lack self-confidence, will only be around because they waiting for their time to shine. In a group, we all shine. So there's, when you think about a basketball team, Tosuna, let's just say there's 12 to 15 people on a team. Because oftentimes it's at least 15, because in case the second, so there's your first 5 players in basketball, then you have your secondary set, right? So if the first 5, your starting 5, which are your top 5 people, if any one of them need a sub out, maybe they got too many fouls, maybe they just need a break, maybe they got hurt, you got to have your second string, which has to be almost equivalent to your first string. Then you've got your other players. But check this out. Let's say the team wins a championship. Let's say that maybe 5 of the bench players, we call them the bench players, didn't get on the court not one time during the season. Guess what they still get at the end of the season, Mary? A ring, a jacket, a trophy, a championship check. See, some of y'all just missed what I said. They showed up to every game. They had to come to every practice. They had to come suited and booted, knowing Mary, knowing Mama Nisi, knowing Tedra, knowing that they might not get on the court, Zena, at all. But at the championship, when you get the win, Mr. James, right? Everybody get a ring. Everybody get a trophy. Everybody get a check. I hope everybody, see, some of y'all missed that. That was so spiritual right there. That was so, Gwen, that was so spiritual. Felicia Boone, that was so spiritual right there. Tracy DeLoach, that was so spiritual right there. We all win. We all win. So listen, harmony is important. Ego's got to be gone. The next one is action. 5. Once formed, a mastermind group must become and remain active to be effective. Oh my goodness. Do y'all hear that? Once formed, once you join, once you're there, it says you have to remain active to be effective. Oh my goodness. Let's look up what the word effective means. I love words, y'all. And I think sometimes we just, think we know what words mean. But let's look up what the word effective. What does it mean? Effective means successful in producing a desired or an intended result. Effective means fulfilling a specified function. In fact, though not formally acknowledged as such. So that means that maybe you fulfilled something you didn't even really know it needed to be fulfilled, or that you were fulfilling it, but you were effective. All right. Successful in producing a desired or an intended result. Effective. So this says, in order for it to be effective, it says effective. What did I say? Where am I at? Plus group, plus baby. Where am I at? All right, here we go. You must remain active to be. Listen to this. You must remain active to be successful in producing a desired or an intended result. Isn't it strange how it's so different when we read the actual meaning of the words? So in order to, this says for action, you must remain active to be effective, active to be successful in producing a desired or an intended result. Here's why. Because an object in motion stays in motion. Momentum is the hardest thing to get and the easiest thing to lose. Ask Fred Flintstone. Some of y'all understand what I'm talking about because y'all old as me, right? And what happened, Mr. James, when Fred Flintstone stopped that car and he is trying to get it to go back up again, right? Ask Fred Flintstone. What happens when you stop motion? Because we let our what? We're out of harmony. We let our egos get all off. Okay, we die physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. Anything that's not growing is dead. Anything that's not growing is dead. So this group must move on a definite plan at a definite time toward a definite end. You know what this reminds me of? The military. Because in the military, they do a cadence. There's a sound of unity. Not just a look of unity because they're all wearing the same uniform, but there's a sound of unity. Left, 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 right. And the boots are boom, 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 boom. There's a sound of unity. You could not see them coming, but hear it. Oh, I hope y'all caught that. Right? And so this says so it says this group must move toward a definite end. Indecision, listen, inaction and delay will destroy the youthfulness of the entire group. I'm done. So imagine this. This is what we got to ask ourselves. Mic drop for real. I wish I had a mic I could drop. This we need to ask ourselves, Mary, if I'm not doing my part, I kill the whole plan. When you're not in place, kill the whole plan. This says indecision, inaction, and delay will destroy the usefulness of the entire group. Are you okay with knowing when you're not where you're supposed to be, doing what you're supposed to do, that you kill the usefulness of the whole group? Oh, I'm not going to go to that meeting. I don't feel like it. Oh, I'm not going to get on that call. I'm not turning my camera on. I mean, my God, Nina. Oh, what in the, what? She going to train for 2 hours. Clearly, I need to. This says, plus, the best way to keep the members in harmony is through continuous work. How do you keep harmonious growth happening? Keep working, keep working. So this says mental attitude. Number 6 is mental attitude. It says this is the most important factor for determining the success or failure of a mastermind alliance. In particular, the leader of a mastermind group should be committed to the success of the members, developing them to their fullest potential. The leader should be service-oriented, focus less on having the final say and more on being indispensable to the other members. They should also have a positive attitude about the work to be done and do more of it than any other member. Another way of conceiving of this requirement is good sportsmanship. All individuals beginning with the leader, should operate in a spirit of mutual helpfulness, otherwise known as teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm going to say it again. Teamwork makes the dream work. Number 7, confidential relationship. The relationship existing between the members of a mastermind alliance should be a confidential one. It says the purpose of the alliance should never be discussed outside the group unless it involves some sort of public service. The best way to tell the world what you are going to do is by showing it that what you have already done. I've heard it said that every great individual has some aims and purposes in their own purposes in their mind that are known only to them and to God. Even if you don't aspire to be great, you would benefit from not announcing your intentions and plans prior to their fulfillment. So Mr. Hill comes back and says, but Mr. Carnegie, can you tell me what you believe to be the most important mastermind alliance in the United States? Carnegie says, well, the most important mastermind alliance in America is that between the states of our country. The states of our country. From this alliance comes the freedom and liberty of which we in America feel so proud. The strength of the alliance lies in the fact that it's voluntary and that the American citizens support it in the spirit of harmony. Not sure if we're in that spirit of harmony right this moment, but we know what we mean. We know what they mean, right? Then it says, Hill says, either you reference the utility of the mastermind principle for the home. Earlier, you referenced the utility of the mastermind principle for the home. Can you explain in more detail how this principle can benefit a household? Carnegie says, well, thanks for asking that. Thanks for asking that. He says, because in my experience, one's home relationships directly affect one's business and professional achievements. Ruh-roh. I'm going to just pause right there because I want to make sure everybody heard what that just said. Let me go back. He said, thank you for asking this because in my experience, one's home relationships directly affect one's business and professional achievements. Of all the possible human alliances, marriage is the best suited for the application of the mastermind principle because this relationship shapes the parties at a deep spiritual level. And sometimes it's in a good way, and sometimes it's in a not so good way. Let me explain why. And Paul would say it if he was here, and I've talked about it multiple times. When Paul and I first got married, he did not have the kind of mindset he has today. It was grim because I said to him, let me tell you something here. I won't live like this. I will not live like this. And then I decided after having that kind of a conversation with him that I was just going to commit him to prayer and fasting. And I started working on me so much that I stopped focusing on him. And all of a sudden, and he'll tell you, he wasn't the nicest. He wasn't. You can't even imagine it knowing him now. But he'll tell you, he had a nasty disposition. See, when you don't know what your purpose is, and you're living and married to somebody that's walking in total purpose. Whoa. So now you got other issues going on inside of you and you're taking it out on your spouse. Because I can pray for you. I can pray over you. But I cannot make you a man. I can't make you feel like a man. You understand what I'm saying? I can show you, I can talk to you about what I believe God has for you. But until you believe it, nothing changes. So what I did was instead of fussing, because I learned to choose my battles. I'm not fitting to argue with you every day. I'm not doing it. But I started acting like I didn't even see the behavior. Some of y'all, some of y'all gonna catch that in just a minute. I started acting, Pastor Sean, like I didn't even see the behavior. Now, for a moment, it was a little crazy because a lot of people that would come around our home stopped coming around because they didn't like his attitude. Yeah, it was that deep. It was that deep. But what began to happen is as I began to pray and not address that spirit in my home anymore. I hope so. Some of y'all need to hear what I'm saying. I stopped addressing that spirit in my home. And I remember going to the front door and telling the spirit that it had to go. See, you're gonna get up out of here because I had read in the word and I see that Nina, you could do the word in every other aspect or facet of your life. Do it here. Do it where it counts the most. Do it where it counts the most. So you don't got. I stopped talking at him about it, and I started talking to Jesus about him. And you know what started happening, Pastor Sean? Jesus started showing me. And as I began to work on the areas of my life that needed work, Jesus started working on him. And before I knew it, I looked back and I was like, well, God, you did that. There had to be a hunger and a desire and a thirst on his behalf to want to see himself. But ladies, and I'm trying to help y'all, this one's for free. You can't, men too. We can't make our mates see themselves. We can't make them see themselves. We can only start looking in the mirror to see ourselves. What's going on in me? What's going on in me that could be the cause? See, we don't. Okay, let me go on and read because Pastor Sean, I don't even know. I'm way out there on the ledge somewhere now, right? I could probably write a whole book on it. You start looking at you and you realize that you got so much junk in your trunk. And when you start working on the junk in your trunk, something magically. There's a song we sing, something happens when we pray. I will see the light of day. Something happens when we pray. Right. Anyway, because we'll go in, right? And we got to get off of here. He'll give you he'll give you a smile to replace your frown. Something happens. Something happens when we pray. So I'm just telling y'all, pray and see God's face and then let it go. And let them go. And when you start looking in that mirror, that proverbial mirror, and you stop focusing on all the flaws of the other person, you'll see you got so many flaws in your own, okay? That literally, it's like you don't even, you really will stop noticing all of the flaws of your mate when you start working on your own. So I don't even know where we are, but let me go figure it out. All right, that one was for free. So Hill says what safeguards should be put in place to ensure that the mastermind principle operates effectively in a marriage. See, I didn't even know he was going to go here. Remember, we reading this together. All right. So what safeguards? Carnegie says the primary among these is the choice of a suitable partner. All right. Let's go here. Let's address the elephant in the room. Okay. The elephant in the room is that many people chose their mates according to who and where they were at that time. And now you're different. And now you're saying, what in the heck and a matter is this? And what has happened is maybe you've changed and grown, but they haven't. There's nothing wrong with your mate. You chose them. You chose them in an emotional and mental state that you were in at that time. And now you're no longer there. And because now you're no longer there, it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable because you're now feeling like we are unequally yoked. But all you're seeing in your mate is you and who you used to be, who you used to was. So, in choosing a suitable partner, now we're here. We're till death do us part. We're till death do us part. And Lord, be honest with the Lord because He knows you're miserable. And I'm miserable in this area because He knows you are anyway. So stop lying to God and stop lying to yourself. I'm miserable in this area. Fix me, oh Lord. Fix me. Not him, not her. Fix me because I'm miserable. And Lord, I'm reading this book. It says that I got to have a suitable partner. And we were equally yoked when I was acting cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And now I'm not. So fix me. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. And it says, when considering a potential spouse, you should ensure the individual approves of your chosen occupation and your means of advancing in it. So let's just say this. You begin your marriage, you're working a job, right? Pastor Sean, you know where I'm going, right? So you were working a job. They were used to you going to work at 8 o'clock in the morning, right, Pastor Dorothy, and coming home at 4 o'clock, and then and that was it. And y'all went to church together, and that's it. Now you want to be an entrepreneur. I mean, what are you even talking about? Now you want to be an entrepreneur, and then he's like, "Wait a minute, hold on. That is not what I signed up for. I married someone who went to work from 8 to 4. What do you mean you're getting on a call? You're getting on another call tonight? Oh, you got to train it. You got to go do it. And then you want to go to Las Vegas. Like, what's all that about? Oh, am I helping somebody today on today? Am I helping somebody on today? And now we're expecting them to be all gung ho. Oh, you want to go to Las Vegas? Yeah, 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 yeah. They like, nah, you got a good job. Like, what are we even talking about here? Go to work. What do you want to go there for? You don't need to do that. Your job is good. He didn't change. You did. And now you looking at him they told me to stop it. Now you looking at him like he the three-eyed monster. And he's not the three-eyed monster. He's trying to figure out what's wrong with you. And all you've done was because you've grown and elevated and he hasn't. He's still looking through them old eyes. She's still looking through them old eyes. And you got a new set of lenses. Stop beating on them with your mouth. Stop acting nasty. Because then when he say no, you want to go to Vegas? No, you can't go. And here's the thing. Not that you can't go, but y'all know we don't really want to ruffle all them feathers, right? Like when they don't want you to go and then you decide you're going to go anyway. We don't really want that kind of, and there are women that, men, both, that'll just go ahead and do it. But y'all know what I'm saying. I'm not saying they are forbidding you to go. Cause I mean, I'm a grown woman. I make my own money. I'm gonna do as I, however, you do want to be on one accord. Cause you know what you got to come home to. I don't even know. I don't know how we got here, but somebody must have needed to hear that. Okay. So it says, when both parties are invested in the family means of earning income, that will enjoy greater emotional and financial harmony and have fewer disagreements about the household and personal expenses. You ain't in harmony. Hill says, how can you maintain and improve the marital relationship? Carnegie says every couple should set aside 1 hour a week for a mastermind meeting in which they discuss very important subjects in connection with their marriage and the management of their households. Don't do it when you're mad. Set aside time to have a conversation. That's not a time when you're angry, frustrated, or mad, or you trying to drill a point. Just a time when you have a discussion. Like this morning, Paul said, "Hey, I want to discuss something with you." I felt like when we had this part of a discussion, you didn't seem as gung ho when I said it, and I said no, I didn't, because we had already settled on a price that I knew I wanted to max out at, and that number came a little bit higher, and I just feel like I know where we're going, and I know what we can do, and I wanted to manage it within the confines of the budget that we decided we were going to spend. I said, so when that number came in, here's what I told him. I said, if that's what you feel is best, go ahead and do it. But I never said yes or no. He didn't make the move, Pastor Sean, because he understands me. And normally, if I'm like, boom, on one accord, I say, yes, do it, pull the trigger. But I said, well, if you feel that that's the way we should move, go ahead and do it. You see what I'm saying? That was a conversation. Neither one of us were angry. Neither one of us were, we just had to set aside some time to have that conversation. But you also need to know your mate. Paul knew that it was a good time to have a conversation because I wasn't trying to get ready for a training. Because I wasn't, because he likes wrestling. I wasn't trying to have a conversation with him while he was getting ready to watch wrestling. Or not that yesterday mattered, because it didn't. The Super Bowl didn't matter to us. However, I wasn't trying to have a conversation at the start of the Super Bowl. I enjoy halftime. Wasn't nobody gonna try to have a conversation with me at the start of halftime when I know that I want to watch this music. You understand what I'm? Does this make sense? Ladies, sometimes, and gentlemen, but primarily us ladies, we just gotta work on our timing. Because sometimes it's not what we want to say, it's when we want to say it. Timing matters. Men, I'm trying to help y'all. Where Mr. James at? Let me go look and see if he's smiling. I'm doing good. Am I doing good? Where Mr. James? I'm doing good, Mr. James. Give me a thumbs up like this. Yeah, he like, yeah, tell him. Tell him, Nina, tell him. Right? All right, so Carnegie says, you got to set aside some time. Don't do it when you're mad, y'all. Don't do it. Don't do it when you're at the height of, right? Hill says, well, what can you share about the emotion of sex, which you ranked second on the list of the 9 basic motives? Carnegie says the emotion of sex is nature's way of inspiring men and women to create, build, lead, and direct. Every great artist, inventor, thought leader, or business person channels the emotion of sex into their work. There's a great potential for the marital mastermind alliance that leverages the emotion of sex to induce commitment to their shared purpose. The emotion of sex can be grounded in a spirit of romance, and romance holds the key to unlocking the temple of wisdom within your heart and brain, because everything good and worthy in men and women come there only through love. So if there's nothing but contention, and listen, sex ain't always all the way physical. It could just be intimacy too. All right? If there's a bunch of contention like this, there's no love. And I'm not talking about sexual love. I'm talking about love, period. That is oftentimes when there's a lot of contention, right? Your mate doesn't feel the love that you share for them. Oh, yeah, I love you too. Okay, good night. Boom. No, but they don't feel loved or love. Okay. Keep the fire of romance burnt, temple of wisdom in your heart and brain. Okay, the key to unlocking the temple of wisdom within your heart and brain, because everything good and worthy in men and women come there only through love. Keep the fire of romance burning, make it an integral part of your mastermind association, and it will yield marital and spiritual riches. The combination of love and sex, when applied to professional and business pursuits, induces a state of mind characterized by enthusiasm, ambition, drive, keen interest, and vision, traits that are essential for success in any calling. So when romance is not degraded by physical desire. It takes the drudgery out of the work. It elevates the thoughts of the humblest laborer to the level of genius. It drives away discouragement and replaces it with definiteness of purpose. It transforms poverty into a mighty and irresistible power for achievement. It activates the imagination and inspires unmatched creativity and innovation. It is a secret weapon of every great individual who has been memorialized in history. Hill says, but what does an individual need to do in order to make the most of mastermind principle on a daily basis? Carnegie says, all individuals wanting to make use of this principle should recognize that they can attain their highest aim only by a series of steps, and they should likewise understand that every thought they think, every interaction that they have with others, every plan that they conceive, every mistake that they make has a vital bearing on their ability to attain their chosen goal. Every thought we think. So, ladies and gentlemen, how do we expect our businesses to thrive, but you like this at home? Every thought, everything we do, everything, every interaction. We gonna treat our customers better than our husbands, our wives? Yikes. Because we mad because why he acting like that? He acting like that because now he needs to get to know you, the entrepreneur, because he only knew you, the business, the go to work, 8 to 4, 9 to 5. She same thing. She's looking at you like, what is this? You want to do this now? I thought we were good. And a lot of times our spouses take it personal. They think there's something wrong with them as to why you're trying to pursue another thing. And there's not. Have that conversation with them to help them to understand that you have this longing to want to help other people or whatever the case may be as to why you now are pursuing business or entrepreneurship. Because in order to be successful, people must support their major purpose with continuous effort, particularly effort that is applied in relationship with other people. Given this, it is easy to see how crucial it is to choose one's associates carefully, especially those with whom one comes in contact with on a regular basis. I'm gonna stop right there because I see we're gonna get ourselves in trouble if we keep reading this. And literally it's only one more page. Maybe I should finish it. It's only one more page to finish this chapter. Y'all want me to go ahead and finish it? This one page. All right, okay. So Hill says, that being the case, Mr. Carnegie, can you name and discuss the various relationships that an individual must cultivate in their pursuit of a definite goal? Carnegie says, after the marital relationship, the relationship of the next importance is the one an individual has with their business associates. So after your spouse, the next relationship that is the most important is the one you have with your business associates. So do you see now why what's going on in your marriage spills over to what's going on in your business? Oh my goodness. It says, sometimes an individual will associate with the most outgoing coworker, but the loudest individual is not necessarily the wisest one, nor the one with the best character. The success-seeking individual will be the best served by forming close relationships only with those whose influence and cooperation will be beneficial to their definite major purpose. The others they will tactfully avoid. Tactfully avoid. Every individual should treat their work environment like a classroom, studying their business associates as potential sources of knowledge or influence that can be borrowed and used for their own promotion. The person with a constructive purpose in life will never envy their superiors. They will study their superiors' methods and appropriate their knowledge instead. Not copy them, but actually study their methods. All right? Hill says, but how can a person get the most out of this type of education that you have just discussed? Carnegie says by remembering and using the 9 basic motives to their advantage in attracting the cooperation of one's business associates and by relating oneself to one's associates in a friendly manner. So Hill says, Well, thank you for this helpful summary of the advantages that derive from an occupational mastermind. What other types of mastermind alliances are useful for attaining one's major purpose? Carnegie says the next most important alliance is an educational mastermind. In order to achieve great success, an individual must constantly be learning and from every available source, especially those from which an individual can gather specialized knowledge and experience related to their major purpose. The success minded individual makes it their business to read books in order to expand their knowledge of their chosen work and to learn from the experiences of those who have gone before them. One's reading program should be chosen with as much intentionality as one's diet. The former is mental food that nourishes the mind. Reading is not the only source of education available. One also might learn through daily conversations with one's associates and social contacts and others with whom one regularly interacts, provided these individuals are chosen with a definite objective mind. The mastermind is an alliance of two or three minds working together in a spirit of perfect harmony for the attainment of a definite purpose. And when these minds connect with a shared purpose, a third intangible mind is created that produces thoughts greater than any individual could have on their own. So in order to be successful, a mastermind alliance must be characterized by perfect harmony. Each member must be in harmony with the goal of the alliance, the leader, and every other member. So why do I now see so much harmony in my marriage? Even though I told y'all there was a time when it wasn't that way. And if you ever see Paul, you can ask him, he'll tell you. He'll tell you I was the problem. He will tell you that. All right? Here's what happened, Pastor Sean. As I focused on my flaws and what was wrong with me, instead of just praying, God, fix them. Because y'all know, ladies, come on, let's tell the truth. That's what we pray. Fix them, Jesus. You know this son of yours. Oh, don't nobody want to tell the truth now. Now don't nobody want to tell the truth. This son of yours. No, the husband you picked. The wife you chose. Oh, he is my Boaz. Oh my God, right? So instead of that, what happened was, Pastor Sean, as I started really working on me, and then he started working on him because I stopped focusing on him. I stopped entertaining the that argument space. I started walking away. And you know what? It felt at first, I had to fight the feelings that I had that, oh no, I don't know who he think he is, acting like that. Oh, come on, y'all know. It's okay, ladies. It's okay. It's all right. And I stopped feeling like I had to win every fight. I stopped feeling like I always had to be right. And I realized that there was so much more power in my quiet. And as I got quiet, he started growing. I was in the way, Tamara Bogan, exactly. He started growing. And what happened is we developed a third brain. Because then I brought my brain, he brought his brain, Shakay, and then we developed a third brain. Like this says, when you're in harmony, then you can develop a third brain. And the third brain is the brain we think through our business structures. But it didn't come overnight. If you stop focusing on them being the problem, on her or him being the problem. Thankfully, Paul started going to the gym. The gym was his release. It was his release. Then and what happens is I know it feels very lonely when you feel like you cannot have a business educated conversation with somebody who's not thinking that way. So thankfully, God has given you other people that you can talk to about that until they elevate to a place where you're in mutual conversation. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? All right. So, how turn your thoughts into action. Here we go. We're going to end this. How you turn your thoughts into action. Okay. This is how you turn your thoughts into action. Yes, that is a great scripture, 1 Peter 3 and 4. How can you best apply the mastermind principle in your pursuit of your primary goal? You got to think of the different types of alliances. For example, organizational, business, educational, and marital, and create a plan for leveraging at least one of these associations to help you transform knowledge into power. Consider whose expertise and experience you would most benefit from, as well as how your alignment in the home, if applicable, will impact your overall success. So, what you got to do now is let them off the hook. Because next week we're going to start attractive personality, right? Let them off the hook. Let them off the hook. Whoever, she or he, let them off the hook so that you both can flourish together. I'm so glad we had this time together. We got to go, right? We got to go. I hope that you all enjoyed today's book club. I know I thoroughly did. I didn't know it was going to take us there, but it did, right? And for whatever reason, we must have needed to hear it. And so enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be kind to one another and do a good deed and pay it forward. I am thoroughly enjoying Think Your Way to Wealth. So tell somebody about book club, right? Bring a friend. You don't even need the book because I'm going to read it to you, for you, with you. All right. And so if you're interested on this same Zoom line at 7:45, we'll log on. We'll get started right at 8 o'clock with our Vision Mastery call. Please feel free to come in here so that you can hear all about what we experienced in Las Vegas this weekend. And always, and if not, we'll see you next week. But always remember that God loves you, I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Good night and God